deadly, if not the most deadly place on the planet to be a Christian in Nigeria. That's not going to be able to sustain itself and continue without leading to a violent split up of the country. And I say those words cautiously, and I don't like saying those words, but I believe it to be the truth. If the Nigerian government now does not get on top of this situation of what's taking place in Nigeria, and has been now for a number of years, if they don't get on top of it and start protecting their people, particularly the Christian community and the moderate Muslim communities that are being attacked, if they don't stop this, this is going to lead to broader bloodshed throughout Nigeria and probably a splitting up of the country. And it's that dramatic.
Hello, good afternoon, viewers. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu, let's look at this contentious issue talking about Nigerian corporate existence. As we have it, the Fulani militias, the Fulani terrorists have succeeded in dragging Nigeria division to the United States of America. A situation where a former U.S. ambassador, talking about Sam Brownback, have clearly, unequivocally said that Nigeria should divide to save life. We shall listen to him and we'll come back to further this conversation. Let us allow our viewers listen to him. Welcome back. Mr. Chinedu, react to this.
Okay, let me just say it that I've been saying it on this platform of what has Nigeria become of these days, not even before now, right from 1943, 1953, 1967 till date. It has always been the same story. But unfortunately for Nigeria government, they thought the world wasn't watching, just like what we saw in Iran. Iran thought that the world wasn't watching. The world has been watching Nigeria. I do not want to say the United States government are going to compromise in this issue. If they compromise in this issue, then God is going to send a helper to Christians in this part of the world. The problem is that we are seeking a Christian nation that will protect Christians in Nigeria, since that Nigeria as a government has fallen under the threat of Islamization. A lot of U.S. congressmen, a lot of, I can tell you, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, we can tell you about Ted Cruz, who has been deliberately on his own devoted time to document what is going on in Nigeria, to the surprise of the United States government under Donald Trump, that led them to set a particular panel in the United States of America to unravel the mystery. It is not far-fetched. They knew actually that a certain people have been committing these atrocities for years unchecked. Then that threw up the people of Mazin, like Mazin Namdekano and Simon Eba, begin to talk about this development, got the world attention. It is not only some black brow that is only aware of this, but by virtue of his position as a former ambassador, you know, who was able to call the United States of American president, call the congressmen in order that it is time to save the Christians in Nigeria currently now. And Ted Cruz, you know, has also been advocating for the recognition of Biafra as a sovereign nation. Not only that, a former NATO chief also was in the same line advocating for the recognition of Biafra as a separate nation out of this unfortunate entity called Nigeria.
Now, how do you react to some people, Nigerians, who are saying the same way the Fulani terrorists push Trump into intervening Nigerian situation, the same way we are seeing Fulanis pushing Nigeria division to over office, as we have seen it, because this will definitely end at the Trump office, which is over office.
You know, there was a report that Nigerian government intentionally send delegates all over the world to cover up the atrocities that we are happening in Nigeria, and the killings and everywhere. But thank God for the internet. Thank God for people like Mazen Namdekano. Thank God for people like Simon Nipa that decided to got the world attention. If not, the Nigerian government has successfully lobbied the whole world to cover up the atrocities that was actually going on in Nigeria. But the coming of Donald Trump, they saw it as an opening to register their presence globally and begin to get advocacy, begin to get solidarity, begin to talk to different agencies that can listen. Remember that the past administration of the United States of America, was also in line. Like Trump will say that Obama was busy sponsoring a lot of agenda related to the supreme leader of Iran all over the world. So you can see, they see Donald Trump as somebody they can actually run to. This is not a matter of whether United States actually want to do the needful, irrespective of what their interest is. Whatever that is their interest is, if they fail to do the needful, God will raise people that will do the needful. But thank God, there's so much pressure, so much report, so much petition about the division of Nigeria. And the only country that at the table of the Washington today is the Republic of Biafra, the first Jewish nation in Africa.
Now, the question I want to ask is even related to what you just mentioned. What is your saying? What is your thinking about those who feel that what is happening is blessing in disguise for Biafra?
You might say that it is. This has been long overdue. The world looked the other way because Nigeria was a former, British colony. And that is why nobody wants to say anything, But as it may, thank God for the coming of the media, of the internet, that broke so many jinx that the world can actually now see that the Biafrans have seen this thing years ago and have begin to run out of it, not to be part of it, not to be part of that calamity. But unfortunately, the same agenda led to 1967 Nigeria Biafra war, and it is still ongoing, till today. So it is not actually what you think that now that it seems that the whole world is getting the attention, that is noticeable now. It is because the Igbo nation, the Biafran people, started shouting, started crying. But today, a lot of them are in DSS, a lot of them are in prison for this particular thing, because what they wanted to was to silence that. But it got to the notice of the United States of America, and there was a delegate that was sent to Nigeria. Unfortunately, that report by Raleigh Moore is still being questionable today, because we do not know what actually Raleigh Moore mean in that regard. But that is not what we are discussing today. But I can tell you that the congressmen, majority of the congressmen are on it now. Thank God for the IPOB members all over the world, different government in exile all over the world. It is about all individuals that are involved. It's not only this powerful organization only. There are individuals who have so much influence within the Trump office, the Igbo professionals and Igbo leaders who have a certain influence within the Oval Office, Washington, United States of America, who are presenting their position on daily basis, especially those of them who also came from Middle Belt, who seem to be very close to the Republican government in America. Today, we can see it is getting a global attention. It is getting international attention. It is getting also, the most powerful nation in the world attention. If America decides today what to do in Nigeria, it's very simple. It's not about really more induced report, because that report did not merit any standard by what the situation of trying to cohabit with the people who see you as a different species unless you bow to Islam. And Biafrans are saying, instead of cohabiting and this will continue, state police is not going to be the answer. The answer is, allow those who choose Islam to stay on their own and practice their own Islam, and allow those who do Christianity to practice Christianity in their own way. That is the division we are calling up upon. By so doing, there's no need of talking about killings in Nigeria, like some ambassador Black Brown actually said it, that the only solution the United government is looking at now under Trump administration is total decision breakup of Nigeria as an entity.
Now, let's look at some Nigerians who already say this is double blessing, because as at the last count we saw Israeli Nasset extensively discussing the issue of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB. This time around, we are seeing another one erupting in the United States of America. We know that one thing is sure: Donald Trump and America have veto power over UN voting. Donald Trump decided to send a proclamation to United Nations for this quest, and maybe the world vote against it. Do you think Donald Trump will veto it in favor of Biafra?
Yes, let me tell you, already you are also aware that there were so many petitions and organizations that are also involved in Biafran struggle all over the world. I can tell you over 100 organizations all over the world, including those of them in Dutchland, Netherlands, is also involved. United Nations also directly have their own fair share of the struggle, and of course documentation is also going on in United Nations. The fear of using United Nations is about the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is no longer leading, and you can see that United States government has distanced themselves from United Nations because they are not performing their duty. They are there to for conflict resolution, and they have said globally, so it is not a matter of the Biafran quest alone. So what the United Nations the US government should do at this point in time is to invoke on their foreign policies, and that settles it, and go ahead and pronounce the recognition of Biafra as an existing nation. And that is what everybody is waiting for. Then you can see there's going to be a massive retreat from the Fulani, who are almost seeing Nigeria as their own indigenous country. And that is the fear. And this thing we are seeing today, you can see that, even those of them from the north have come to agree that the set agenda is actually playing out, and that the government of Nigeria are covering the whole thing and propagating what they know how best to do by continuing to manipulate on the process until it becomes a tyrannic theocratic order that everybody must now bow to Islam. And that is simply the truth. We saw it happen in Iran today. Look at the crisis in Iran today. We saw it happen in Lebanon. Look at the problem in Lebanon. We saw it happen in Israel. Look at it in what's happening in Israel. We saw it happening presently in the United States of America, in New York. They have outlawed anything that has to do with Sharia, and anything that has to do with, it is happening. So why can Ralimo be advocating the coexistence? That means, in the nearest future, we might enter another problem entirely. What the United States of America should do is to liaise with what the decision of the Knesset Parliament in Israel, and of course, go ahead and tweet and go ahead and proclaim it, just like the way they did in Somaliland. As simple as that.
Okay, now let me bring this angle, because currently one will be in American Congress, talking about the one sponsored by the Congressmen Ralimo and Chris Smith. That's Religious Freedom and Nigerian Religious Freedom and Accountability Act, seeking to designate Fulani militias as terrorists, and perhaps seeking to punish and curtail the essence of the Fulani Mietiala members. As we have it, Mietiala members in Nigeria are saying it is a misplaced priority, that they are not bad people. Speak to us about the activities.
Yes, I want to take the position of Mike Arnold recently, where he began to question why Ralimo should be calling for state police now. Where did he get that idea, from? That what the majority people are looking at is that the United States of America should actually come and do the needful. That it looks like Ralimo has actually compromised. I'm not the one saying, and that it will be quite unfortunate that he, Mike, was part of the system before, but unfortunately somewhere along the line he was sidelined, and they never called it because it looks like, you know, Nigeria has actually happened to rally more. I must say it the way it is, you know, for posterity to judge at the end of the day. What we are saying that Donald Trump should look at these things critically and have an independent mind towards what is happening in Nigeria. Nigerian government knew what is happening and they know where the whole thing is heading into, you know. And now there's a global spread, you know, global knowledge and recognition and solidarity for Biafra all over the world. Is it not better that they do it at this point in time to save more lives? Continue staying together does not guarantee, or can you are saying yes, the US legislation or whatever tagged Metis Allah as a terrorist organization. What of other groups that are under Metis Allah? What of other groups that might likely spring up today? Are they coming back to still term them? That will know actually what this will want. The Nigerian government know what they want. Metis Allah is saying that they want caliphate, they want Sokoto, they want Sharia, they want medicine.
Mr. Chidemaga, sorry for jumping in here. You know that the other day, the Sultan of Sokoto, who of course is the leader of the Fulanis in Nigeria, was expressing fear. What would they do if Nigeria divided? And of course, Oshibaja was saying with the current situation that Nigeria will break up. So, do you share the fear of, or do you sympathize with the Sultan, who is expressing fear that war will likely become their fate? Maybe perhaps because you know that the natural resources that make them to survive is from Biafran land. Oh, let me get your take.
Yes, they not have enjoyed the Biafran oil for over 60, 70 years now. They hold the largest share under the Sokoto Caliphate till this moment, and Nigeria are still struggling to become a nation up to this moment again. And they have taken enough than they can in terms of stealing resources from the Biafran land. You know, so they should also use those resources to stabilize. There are resources in the north too they can use to actually stabilize their place. But that does not mean that we are not going to have bilateral, peaceful bilateral with whoever. You know, Biafra as a nation, as a sovereign nation, will actually do business with the global world, establish relationship with the global world. You know, so if they deem it fit that as their former neighbor, that we can go ahead, so be it. We will transact with them officially, and that will bring a lot of respect.
And I want to believe that is the significance of the letter that was submitted to her convention recently.
Yes, I can tell you, the same matter has been taken to by the group of Anglican bishops all over the world. They have visited the Pope himself, Pope Leo, and they made it very clearly that they cannot stand the togetherness of this country anymore. They said it very loud and clear to the Pope himself. But what we are saying at this point in time, if Osibanjo can come from that perception, and you can see the perception of the Sultan of Sokoto, you know, it tells me that there's so much uncertainty in the land, and what they actually brought to Nigeria had gone out of their control. And the only force that is standing between them and what it is today is the first Jewish black nation in the world, the rising sun himself, the first Jewish black nation in Africa. And I can tell you, it is Biafra. No two ways about that. That's the only obstacle. That's the only thing that is standing to defend every Christian in this country. And they know it. There's a reason why.
Okay. Now, I want to take it to this angle. Though there's a video to this effect, where you clearly see a Fulani man from the north criticizing the Fulani hegemony from the north, who came together to remove a Jonathan from office. Remember that before now, we saw a cow Baraje who came out to say that the Buhari and co brought Fulani militias from Mali, Burkina Faso, and co to remove a Jonathan from office. Now, meanwhile, let our viewers watch this video where you can clearly see a Fulani man lambasting the Fulani hegemony from the north on how they remove Jonathan. Now, we are welcome back. The question is, seeing that the Fulanis are crying because most of them are suffering in the hands of Tinubu, who joined them to do most of these things. What's your take? We see the likes of Erfan, Malami. What is your take?
You know, the Fulani by nature, they are very patient people. They are very cunning and they are very smart. they keep records and they know where they are heading to. It is a generational war. It is a generational, fight. And we will ask ourselves, what happened to the first democracy in Nigeria, where we have Shagari and Alex Ekweme? It was Buhari that came and destroyed that democracy. From there, we have several military roots to where we are today. So there was a reason why they decided, the Arab world decided to impose Buhari as at that time. It's because they want to continue the same agenda. So let it not come as a surprise to anybody if certain people are coming to still change the narrative. They know the agenda. They are just trying to confuse themselves. And the only people I'm seeing now who are trying to rise and begin to ask questions are the Hausa people. They have already created a new movement completely now, and any moment from now you'll be hearing Hausa uprising in the north. Go and mark it one day, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu took his time, to pass this message direct, without fear and favor, and it has come to reality. So the world has seen it really, that this is not actually what they think it is. And at this point in time, there's a reason. There's a clear reason why the Biafra nation should be recognized. And I'm talking about not recognition is what is already running a parallel government. There's a Biafran government in Nigeria. What we need now is, the powerful nations of the world to recognize it as an existing, nation. And of course, what we saw in Iran is part of the struggle. From the way I see it, to stabilize the world, to allow people, we cannot cohabit. Really more, forget this year agenda. We are not interested. This was not what you are before you came to Nigeria. You have shifted, and I must tell you really more that the truth. Thank God for some black who came out to change that narrative. The United States of America are still standing where they are. Thank God for Mike Arnold, Ted Cruz, Mike Pompeo, and so many, James John of the U.S. Congress. A lot of them from Georgia who are also saying really more, no, this is not actually what it is. We are going to take our stand either by omission or by commission. And the most powerful thing is the position of the Israeli government on Biafra today. And it calls for a lot of celebration for what United States government is doing to make sure that everything is in place to recognize Biafra as a nation.
I must say very thank you for your time. This is a good place to let it go. We'll be having the next time because this is a development story.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.